It's a very seductive idea. It would be wonderful to believe that everything from your bank balance to an international war was really influenced by the planets. My first guest is an astrologer whose work is read by millions of people in Britain every day. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jonathan Kaner. Tell me, Jonathan, who do you write for?
I write for Today newspaper in this country, Today newspaper, Woman magazine, Mirabella, and Living.
I have a question for you. You know, are we really supposed to believe that everything you write for, say, a Capricorn is going to happen to 1/12 of the total population of the world that next day?
Well, let me ask you something, James. You come from the other side of the Atlantic. Would you say that Canadians and Americans have different characteristics to each other?
Yes, they do.
So, up to a point, there are differences between Capricorns and Aquarians, and certain things I can say about them, but I would, as is obvious from what I've just asked you, say that there are also a lot of things you couldn't say just from that kind of information.
Well, how would you do a more accurate reading?
All right, well, to do that, you're going to need somebody's date of birth, their time of birth, and their place of birth, and then you're going to need to draw up a great big map of the sky, and by analysing where all the different planetary positions are, you can start to say something that makes a lot more personal sense.
So you say that a reading of this kind would be accurate and individual enough for the person to recognize themselves?
I would hope so.
All right. Well, Jonathan has kindly agreed to put his talents to the test this evening. We have taken the birth date information from every person in the audience tonight, and before the show, we gave you the details of one person selected from that audience. So please give us your reading for that person.
Okay. Well, I don't know who I'm addressing here, but I know that the person who owns the horoscope that I've been looking at has a very unusual horoscope. This horoscope is unusual, and it suggests to me that you are a very extrovert person, unusual, larger than life, full of confidence, with a very zany sense of humor, and generally a kind of way of being different, eccentric, controversial. You will kind of enjoy the limelight that comes from when it's revealed that it's you. You won't feel too shy or ashamed of it. And one more thing I should also say, there's something about you which is rather professorial and intellectual, and it makes me think that we're dealing with someone who's had a well-trained mind, is very speedy and alert and quick-witted.
So we're looking for someone who's controversial and professorial. Now, let's see if he or she agrees, but first, let's see by a show of hands in the audience here, how many people in the audience think this reading sounds like theirs? Let's see a show of hands. Well, we've got, what, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, about 15, maybe a few more. Quite a few, actually. Now, let's meet our real subject of that reading. Please welcome Hugh Laurie. And Hugh is accompanied this evening by a gentleman he hardly knows, Stephen Fry. So tell us, Hugh, what did you make of that reading? Is it anything like you? I mean, does it apply to you?
I wouldn't say very much, no. I'm certainly not enjoying the limelight now. Although you may say, why did I come up? Well, curiosity, you know, but limelight, I wouldn't say, no. Extrovert, I don't think so. Professorial, I got the lowest possible degree at the university I went to.
Ah, but you did go to university.
Oh, that's right.
Well, that's a start.
Oh, that's
yeah. One for me.
You think you count that as one for you, do you?
Well, just a small one
you're
for
very
me,
generous
I think,
to yourself.
yeah.
I call that a draw, yeah, all right. What else was there?
Did I say you had a good sense of humor? I think I did.
Hands up in this audience who thinks they have not got a sense of humor.
Oh,
there you go. Everybody. It's one of the rules of the world that everybody believes themselves to have a great sense of humor.
I picked it out as being a strong point in the gentleman's horoscope.
It would have been a brilliant one of me, incidentally. That's the odd thing. People do regard me as professorial in some way or another. Hugh isn't at all. He's certainly not extrovert. And
stupid. Stupid, in fact.
I wouldn't get together, but not in the least bit stupid. Very intelligent, but not in a professorial or academic kind of way. And certainly not competent. In fact, I seem to spend a good 90% of my life trying to make you more competent. He gets nervous and he despises it.
I think you do your friend a grave injustice. I've looked at his horoscope and I'm sure he's capable of far more than that.
Yeah, but I've looked at him, you see.
Well, Jonathan, it doesn't seem that Hugh and Stephen are entirely convinced by your reading. And even more interesting, many people in our audience tonight thought that it could be them as well. What explanation could there be for that, do you think?
Oh, a very simple one, that, of course, what we're testing here is my ability to communicate. And, of course, you must understand in the newspapers, I specialize in saying things that do apply to a lot of people at once.
Well, from my experience, readings in newspapers are very general, and perhaps that's why in America some of them now carry a health warning, which makes it clear they're for entertainment purposes only. Thank you very much, Jonathan, for taking part. Here's Stephen Tankett.